What is next, aside from recruiting? I cannot believe we just managed to shut down Auburn. I thought our defense was going to struggle, and just first quarter zone blitz. Oh my God, this is working, and they basically never adapted. They got that touchdown in the third, but did we wind out the entire fourth quarter? We did, didn't we? That was insanity. That was insanity. Let's take a look here. Job security. Where are we at now? Oh, fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. Oh, we're going nowhere. White Fat Rock. Head coach for life. Emperor in perpetuity. Up to 100% security. That is exactly what we needed for that season before we lost everybody. As Georgia goes undefeated to win the national title, beating Michigan State 49-28 in the championship game. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I don't look. I was going to say, I don't know if I can look at the team stats. I think it's just under season stats. Let's see what we got. So this season, Phil Yurkovich, before moving on, 20 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. I'm pretty sure I threw all 5 of them. 2,500 yards for Phil, not bad at all. Rushing-wise, Garwo over 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns, which is beautiful. 245 yards after contact. Yurkovich with 2 touchdowns, O'Hara with 4, and Witter with a rushing touchdown as well. Taji Johnson led the way in terms of receptions, but man, Garwo was right there. Bartles with 2 touchdowns this year. Damn. Let's see, the O-line, only 4 sacks allowed by Jack Conley. We are losing, like, our entire offensive line outside of Testicles. Defensively, 5 sacks for Shitasilla. 2 picks, 1 for Jalen Williams in the bowl game. And for some reason, it always starts to chug when you try to go to kickers. We hit 5 field goals all year long. 5. 5 field goals. That's all we had. You'll love to see it. Let's go to the end of the season. We'll see, of course, officially who's going to lead this team. 5 field goals. We were 5 for 5. As again, Marco Jones and Eric Weisbecker are the 2 that we have to continue to fight for. Everyone's impressed with the job you did. Offer you an extension. Yes, I will sign. Sign me in perpetuity. Sign me in perpetuity. It's a 5-year extension. And we were already signed for a while. We'll stay. Of course we will. This is our team. This is our team. Miami's head coaching job is up, as is Minnesota's. Interesting. Interesting, but nowhere that we want to go. Whew. Lifetime deal. I'm telling you, in perpetuity. We're going nowhere. Call White Back Rock, Mr. Wonderful. Keeping this deal in perpetuity. Beautiful. All right. Official coaching changes. It's too much to look at. It's too much to look at. I'm looking for interesting names here. White Fat Rock signs his extension. Bill O'Brien with the California Golden Bears. We get to our players leaving, and this is about to be painful. Start off at quarterback. Phil Yurkovich is projected to be drafted in the 2nd round. Pat Garwo has elected to not go pro. No pro ball for Pat Garwo, and it's by choice. What a man. What a man. Tight end wise, we're going to lose Spencer Witter, who could not catch a goddamn thing, Spencer, let's be honest. Christian Mahogany, projected for the 1st round. Jack Conley, also just going to outright graduate, not going pro. Ashita Silla going pro, projected to be in the 2nd round. Jackson Ness, also graduating, defensive tackle. Cam Arnold graduates. We lose Connor Greco to graduation. We lose Jalen Williams, the legend. Jalen Williams, the legend. At pick 6. I can't talk any of them into coming back. Yeah, not a single one. Not a single one. Nobody's trying to go pro early. They're all gone, man. They're all gone. And that's okay, but we are losing some high-rated players. As you can see, 4 guys 95 or above. That is going to be very, very tough for us to replace. Very, very tough indeed. We get to the draft results. Mahogany, first rounder. Jurkovic and Sheetasilla as second rounders. So good for Christian Mahogany. Vrabel's gone, yeah. No transfer requests again for the second year in a row. So we go to the final bit of recruiting. Again, we have all those extra points to give. 2 targets left. And we'll see. We have 2 targets left with 2. And then we get the extra bonus points there with 2 lovely, lovely scholarships remaining. So we don't have a huge lead for Marco Jones. We don't have, actually we do have a lead now for Weisbecker, and I want both of them. We have 13,000 points, so the obvious shout is 65 each. And I think that's what we're going to do, is 65 each. I really do want to go all in for Marco Jones. For the fact of, number 1, where he's from, and number 2, he's a 77 rated player. But 6,500 each should be enough for players that we're already in the lead for. We're not making this big comeback effort. And I would imagine we're able to put in more points because we only have 2 targets left. You could argue maybe a little bit more of a split because it's a bigger lead, but that should be enough. At least I hope to God it is. If they choose lesser schools over us, then so be it. Will we get our last 2 targets? Let's find out. We're going to signing day. Come on. Come on. Come on. Both of you sign. Whoo, boy. Here we go. Yes. The wins just keep on coming. Marco Jones and Eric Weisbecker. We fought for Weisbecker all season long. We were so far behind. We got them both. Things are looking okay. We get a gem prospect out of that, of course. We get them both on signing day. Incredible. That brings our recruitment class. Last year we were top 30. This year we're 44th. Again, only 1 4-star or above. But not bad. Another top 50 class. Again, in terms of signings as well, I'll go look elsewhere because you can see the overalls. But we did pretty well for ourselves here. We did pretty well for ourselves. We got Freddie Moore. We got Marco Jones and Victor Harris, our top 3 targets in general. We had a bunch of high 60s as well, now including Mr. Weisbecker. Very, very happy. I think we've gone 3 for 3 in terms of really, really strong recruitment classes. Position changes is where it gets interesting because we know that we have dual position players kind of across the board. In terms of athletes, we actually don't have any. So quarterback-wise, right now, Freeman is looking like our best. He is best at quarterback. Spankton Woodward, the 4th, also best position is at quarterback. Chris Golden, one of our new recruits out of Naugatuck, Connecticut. He is also going to be best at QB. Swervethan Ligmaball Sr. won't be moved anywhere else. Bartolo's colonoscopy will not be moved anywhere else either. And then another new boy in Curtis Norton, who is also best at QB. We might have to cut a quarterback or 2. That's a lot to carry, or at least we're going to have to redshirt. Running back wise, Sean Peterson's our best. He can play wide receiver, let's be honest. Or in the secondary. He's staying at running back. We need him. Pinkley Taurus is his best at running back. Terry Coley is also his best at running back. Wami Tingles could technically be a wide receiver. I don't think we need him there. Yeah, we got plenty of wideouts anyway. We'll leave him in his best position. And then Emmitt Smith Jr., who might also be a bit of a shout to get cut. Could play either. We'll leave him at running back as well. Fullback-wise, obviously C.J. O'Hara and John Green will stay. Wide receiver-wise, Taji Johnson now as a senior. Obviously, he'll stay where he's at. Lewis Bond, now a junior. Again, we're allowed to keep him. He was just naturally on this team. I'm not going to cut people just because. Might as well utilize who we have. Bloke Bartles will stay at wide receiver. Jaden Williams. Again, some of these guys are dual position, which is what I want to check. But for the most part, I just want people in their highest rated position that we can. Freddie Blount will stay at wide receiver. Ryan Wright will stay. Brian Parker will also stay. Eugene Krabs, also good. And Hengel McGringleberry, of course. Also good where he is. Tight end wise, Charlie Gordonier, now a senior. God, we needed Weisbecker so badly. So Gordonier is like an elite level fullback, but obviously we need him at tight end. Weisbecker is actually better at wide receiver than he is at tight end. But we need to train him up as a tight end. And then Marshall Mathers is also there. Same thing, we just got to train him up as a tight end. So really quickly here then, we have to sort out the offensive line. As we do every year. Same thing for the defensive line. Just make sure everyone's in their best position possible. 6'6", 267 wide receivers wide. There would be. But, you know. Yeah, the training results, again, these aren't the finalized overalls. We have to wait and see what the actual results are going to be. So our top O-lineman, oh my God, our O-line's looking disastrous right now. Absolutely disastrous. Okay. So based on agility. Oof. God, based on agility, I think we got to go Ozzie Trapillo back at right guard, Kevin Klein at left guard, Tess Teakles moves over to left tackle, and then Victor Harris to right tackle, and Skylar Doom, off the lack of agility, gets moved to center. From there, we have our starting five. It's not the most impressive in the world, obviously, but we do what we got to do. From there, again, kind of looking at the agility, Ray is slow as shit. We'll put him at center. Is there anybody else who's slow as shit? Tom Brady, congrats. You also go to center. It's accurate. From there, we'll move Zach Stone to right guard. We will move Robert Richardson to right guard, and we will move Jack Strapp to left guard. Not their highest rated positions. I'm basing it primarily off of agility. There's obviously a lot of different things you could do. You could obviously base, you want your center to have a high awareness, but right now it's just, there's not much that we can do to improve this offensive line. Let's be honest. So then from there, it's kind of the question of who plays where. And I mean, we'll put Dick Clapper at right tackle. We'll put George LaRocque at right tackle. And, God, let's put Robert Harrison. I could have sworn I moved Robert Harrison elsewhere. Was it a second Robert Harrison? Yeah. All right. It's not ideal, but it's not fully horrific given the circumstances. Defensive side of things, again, if they're drafted as a defensive end or a defensive tackle, they're staying instead of moving them back to linebacker, just for the sake of simplicity, because otherwise I got to go way too in depth to make sure that this is fully optimized. So that is the only reason why I am going to handle it that way. All right, so again, we'll move everyone over to the edge. Beggars certainly cannot be choosers in this instance. All right, so the biggest of boys. If you're over 300 pounds, you're getting moved automatically. We might not have anybody who's over 300 pounds at defensive tackle. Got a couple of guys who are in the 290s, for God's sakes. Honestly, then we might have to base it off of speed. Although even then, that'll leave us with very, very few options, as it turns out. Well, Horsley's one of the bigger boys. We'll move him back to DT, obviously. Marco Jones, to be honest, I think as well, gets moved back to defensive tackle. So a 2 DT set looks to be pretty good this year. Right now, the cutoff's going to be anybody over 280. And then we will see how many people we have at DT. Anybody over 280 automatically gets moved. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of defensive tackles, and we'll just have to sort out the rest. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll sort out the rest. So, obviously, Pudgy Robinson, he'll move to that right edge side. I'll also have Lloyd Christmas behind him. We'll move Han Solo over. Let's move Logan and Hubbard over as well. So, we're looking okay. Good amount of defensive depth. Linebacker-wise, we got to sort it out this way too. And then again for the secondary. Then we'll be okay. So obviously these stats are going to change a little bit every year. The outlook that we have is going to change because the numbers. Oh my God, this is freaking out right now and I don't like it. This defense is about to take a major hit though. My God. All right. So, in terms of the numbers here and what I want to prioritize, zone coverage has to be the most important for our middle linebackers. I mean, not that they're not important for the outside linebackers too, but yeah, they're pretty important for everybody now that we think about it. All right. Steele gets 3 points worse. Moore only gets 1 point worse. McGowan actually gets better. So we'll have McGowan in the middle. Chevrolet gets a point worse. Let's put McGowan in the middle. We'll have Moore on the right. Chevrolet drops by a point. McCockner drops by a point. Watson stays the same. We'll move him over. Hines drops by a point. Jansen gets a little bit better. Semenko drops by a point. Aim assist is terrible. It's a shame Endo wasted such a good name on a trash tier player. And then Plopper gets better too. So let's put McCockner over on the right, Semenko on the right, and Whitaker on the right. And that is it for the linebacker core. And then our corners and safeties to round this out. And then again, we will get towards the name game. Is what we will do. To be honest, I imagine most of those safeties that just moved will come right back. So Burton goes up by 2. I mean, there's a 6-point improvement for Asbury. So Cheek gets up by 3. Williams by 2. Johnson by 2. Mahashal by 2. Kringleberry by 2. Jass only by 1. Cleveland goes up by 5. Price by 7. Sider, big improvement for him. Andrews, big improvements. And Chris Mack, big improvements. Yeah, no surprise there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there we go. It's not exactly the craziest amount of corner depth, but that's what it is. I might have to move somebody back. But then again, the depth is absolutely horrific, no matter what. It's a -3 for Asbury. It's a -2 for Cheek, so Cheek will be the strong safety. Price drops by 1. Sider drops by 1. Cleveland drops by 1. Mack stays the same. Andrews actually goes up. Needless to say, we are hurting a little bit depth-wise, but thank God, again, Hunter Baker is now in as another punter that we were able to recruit. So we need to look at kick power. So Black McAfee, despite the name, has to be our kicker instead of our punter. Hunter Baker, yeah. You know what? No, we'll move Hunter Baker over. We'll stick with the meme. So there we go. We are set up for this season. Again, it's not the perfect way to do it, but it is the most timely based off of what we're doing here. And that'll bring us to the training results. He can technically do both, but we want to train up Baker. We want him to get game time. All right, so Freeman's going to be an 80, +6 for Freeman. He's going to be a sophomore because he was redshirted last year. Woodward is a +6 as well. +5 for ligma balls and colonoscopy. Also gets a +5. Not bad. Running back wise, Peterson up to an 87. +6 for Torres and Smith. +5 for Wingles or Tingles. Fullback wise, O'Hara now showing up as a 74. Wideouts, Johnson now a 90. Bond up by 5. Bartles an 83. Not bad at all. Eugene Krabs a 71. McGringleberry a 67. Gordoniers now an 88. Marshall Mathers up to a 65. Testicles up to an 80. Fuller a 69. Klein up to an 86. Jack Strapp a 66. Skylar Doom a 75. Got Ray and Brady both getting better by +6. Trapillo up to a 91. Get Clapper a 71. LaRock a 69. Let's see. Donovan, I can't pronounce your name. I'll try later, is a 94. Pfaffenbickler is 73. Ty Ronning up to a 61. Pudgy Robinson now a 77. Lloyd Christmas also over a 70. Defensive tackle Horsley's looking great. OJ up to a 75. Decent improvement across the board here. Bryce Steele looking great. Skeeter Chevrolet up to a 77. Yet to be redshirted. Maybe this is the year. Amos just only a 58. McGowan's an 85. Cam Jansen up to a 68. Let's see. A 72 now for Barry McCockner. Corners, Burton up by 3. Williams by 5. Peter Richard Johnson a 73 now. Ramadan Mahashal looking a little bit better. Asbury a 93 for only his junior year. Cheek up to an 88. Antonio Andrews a 55. Perkins, who we're going to cut, did get much better. And Black McAfee up by 6 to a 78. So very, very good improvement this year. Very, very good indeed. Now we get to the point where we got to cut some people. How many? 15 people have to be cut. It is going to be very difficult to hold on to every single quarterback here. Very difficult. Oof. I can't cut John Green. I should have moved one of my running backs to a fullback. Right. Brian Parker is not ours. He's only a sophomore and a 72. We can cut Brian Parker. He's out of Texas. That's fine. Honestly, Jaden Williams, also another wide receiver out of Texas. We're going to cut him. I'm going to try to keep Bond and Johnson if I can, because otherwise we're in a bit of trouble. I'm going to do my first run through here, looking for dudes that it would be rather advantageous for us to be able to get rid of. A lot of Canadian right tackles right now. Obviously, losing Donovan would suck. God, yeah, we're going to have some tough choices to make. Losing Cam Horsley would also suck, but it could be done. And Khalif Edwards is only a 2-star recruit. He's probably on the outs. We're already getting to the point where we don't have too many people from outside the New England region, as is the goal here. All right, we know we're going to cut Kyle Perkins. We still got to cut 12 people. So any new recruit that's a 2-star recruit has to go. That's the first cutoff. If you are a 2-star freshman, you're out, unfortunately. That's got to be our first cutoff. So Trey Murphy, 1-star middle linebacker, only a 53. Trey Murphy's out. Hunter Baker will stay, obviously, because he's a kicker. 1-star Brian Whitaker, only a 54. Outside linebacker, we're going to cut him. Hines is a 2-star linebacker. He is a 65, but yeah, what's going on, dude? Yeah, it's got to be done. Nate Hines out of Saco, we got to let go of you. Robert Harrison out of Oshawa. William Callahan, only a 57. We got to let go of you. We got to prioritize the better people here. Richard Cleveland. Sorry to Dick Cleveland, you got to go. And you could say, well, why scout them if you're just going to cut them, but we got to know our options. Chris Mack is out. Khalif Edwards, defensive tackle, he's also out. Robert Richardson at guard. Gonna cut you. And we got our redshirt freshmen, which do not count. We got 3 people left to cut. Obviously, we're getting real close to saying one of the quarterbacks, particularly Norton. I mean, if I got to keep a pocket quarterback, I want it to be 6'6" Chris Golden. We have room to cut 1 running back. I'd ideally not do that. Wide receiver, we can't afford to cut anybody. On the O-line, can't really afford to cut anybody. Defensive end, we could get rid of 1 guy. Honestly, the guy to get rid of would be Donovan, just because he doesn't fit the New England theme. But obviously that would be a major, major hit to us. But long term, it's the smart play. Defensive tackle. Again, ideally we wouldn't get rid of anybody there because we need that bit of depth. I guess you could argue Cam Horsley, but how much do we really want to hurt our chances this year? We could afford to cut 1 middle linebacker. There is, of course, Harry Plopper, who is the worst of the bunch, but is technically still a freshman. Can't afford to cut any corners. Can't afford to cut a safety. All right. Hate to say it, Chris Norton's got to go. Chris Norton's got to go. He's topped by Chris Golden. Or Curtis Norton, excuse me. See, I didn't even know his name. So we're going to get rid of Norton. And then running back wise, I don't want to get rid of one of them. I can't get rid of the fullback. I'm thinking Seth White, even though he's a 3-star, he's only a 57. I think he's just kind of outmatched by other people that are there. So yeah, sorry to Seth White out of East Haven, Connecticut. You are cut. That leaves us with 1 more player. Honestly, it could be Tyrone. Could be Doug Glatt, but we're going to want that defensive tackle depth. And I want to use Chris Golden because he's a 6'6" quarterback. He's a man mountain, but I don't think we can afford to keep him. It might have to be Golden. It's Golden or we cut Tom Brady because he's trash. Is he the worst offensive lineman that we have? I can't believe I'm going to be made to do this. We're going to cut Tom Brady. So sorry to whoever got the name Brady. I tried not to cut people that we've already named, but there we go. We are down to 70. And that means we are very, very fastly approaching the naming portion of what we're doing. Which is ridiculous. The fact there isn't a no touching is a disgrace. I completely agree. That's one of the names I was surprised we didn't see at an NCAA 13 channel legend, the Norwegian sensation, rocking the nation, no touching. All right, let's see. Obviously, all of that we can skip through, and we are ready To head into season number 4, we have one more thing to do, though, before we get to the renaming. That is, of course, to set up the schedule and look at our initial targets for this next season. Got the red shirts here, too. White Fat Rock goes up to level 14, apparently. Is it going to show me what the skill point? Yes, it will. All right, cool. So now's the real question of what we target, because we have the bonus for visits, the pipeline state minimum, the extra recruiting in the off season, the extra points per week, or open up a locked recruit. I think right now locked recruit makes the most sense. If there's somebody that's locked to us, we should look first. So, really quickly, first thing we'll do, we will actually look at our recruiting board. I normally save that for last, but we need to know how to use this upgrade. We are ranked 22nd in the nation, by the way. B Major, you caught it right as I did. 22nd in the nation heading into the new season. The BC Eagles. How do you like that? That's not going to last very long. So here we go. Let's take a look at who's available. We will start off with the Canadians. And we start off with 3-star linebacker who's already interested, Tony Nichols. We also get Wendell Williams out of St. Catharines, Niagara. AJ Martin out of Montreal. And a 3-star kicker in Kendrick Parker. Holy hell. Yes, please. We'll check back about Wesley Dennis, but that's a great start from Canada. Connecticut, which is normally pretty kind to us. We got Justin Cummings, 4-star center, second on his list. Jeff Nash, a corner. Sam Thompson, a defensive tackle. Safety Caleb Wilson. And then we go down to a bunch of 2-stars. Kevin Poe. There is a 2-star running back that's not interested, so the unlock could be nice. Mike Rawls, Chris Rogers, Brian Hubbard, Chris Harris as a JUCO. A lot of 2-stars. And another kicker in Thomas Brewster. I'd also love to add that fullback in Chase Floyd. Not bad at all. Good start from Connecticut. We go to Maine. Scotty Jones out of Bath. Rashad Adams out of Presque Isle. Jacob McKinney out of Topsham. Nick Culver out of Old Town. It's Topsham, but put it into a GPS. It'll say Topsham. I say it every time. Guy Wilson. A lot of people out of Rockland. Motherfucker. And Karan Langford also out of Bath, who we'll hold off on for now. Not too bad so far. Massachusetts, we had one player last year. This year we get a couple more. Philip Young out of Holyoke. Quincy's Dallas Young. Sean Roberson out of Natick. And a tight end, Greg Jackson out of Framingham. And Jimmy Kelly also out of Natick. Beautiful. Beautiful. Again, we'll leave off the 1-star. I might have to take off some 2-stars here. This is looking like a really good class. 4-star running back out of Durham, New Hampshire, Jeremy McDaniel. Let's go. We also got a bunch of 1-stars, Dover, Nashua. There's a fullback in Joe Wilson, who I'd love to get, and a punter in Harry Harrison. This is looking great so far. This is the best we've looked in terms of special teams. We're already on 27 people. We still have to go to Rhode Island, where we see Matthew Kane, Jason Stanford, and another kicker in Dan Jackson. Jesus, they are giving us all the special teams players. We get to Vermont, our final destination, and we get 3 more 4-stars. Nathan Colbert, Tony Smith, Joe Alexander, and 2 3-stars, Jason Hunter and Jake Scott. That is incredible. So we leave a 1-star off the board from Canada. Connecticut, we only leave 1-stars, a linebacker, and a tackle. This might be our best recruitment class yet, especially if we can land these 4-stars. We leave a 1-star tight end off the board. That's okay. A 1-star wide receiver out of Massachusetts. Again, New Hampshire, we're only leaving off 1-stars. This looks awesome. Rhode Island. This is our best class yet, I'd say. I mean, we don't have a 5-star, for God's sakes, but in terms of pure potential. So we're only leaving off a 2-star linebacker in Eric Ware. He will be that first option. Once we find out about our kickers and our punters, Eric Ware is the first guy. that we add to the list to go after, because we do need linebackers.
Taste the biscuit.
Shout out, by the way, to QJ667 dropping that prime sub. Thank you very much. Before I forget, look at that. It's subs before he even says hello. Thank you. Or I'm going to go with they. Now we know we don't need to use that unlock for White Fat Rock. So, question. Game management-wise, I'm not too worried. Like, obviously, players starting off like the clutch badge is nice. I still think we focus on recruitment. I still think we focus on recruitment over anything else. So I'm not worried about Locksmith. Royal Treatment is the visit bonus, which helps a lot. There's also Letter of Intent, which we could hopefully get by the end of the season. I'd rather go for, I think we're going to go Royal Treatment. Pipeline's nice too. Let me double check the pipeline real quickly. Otherwise, we're going with Royal Treatment. Otherwise, it is Royal Treatment. So our pipeline states Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine, and Canada. Rhode Island's close, as is New Hampshire. But we don't quite need them yet. Okay, so yeah, no, we're going with Royal Treatment. That'll help on the visits this season. And hopefully help kind of seal the deal for some of these players sooner rather than later. So done deal to get Royal Treatment. An extra 1,000 points per visit now, which is outstanding. So let's finalize the recruitment board. We got a couple more things to do. And then we'll get to name our players. So, first and foremost, obviously preseason-wise, we can only do the scouting. So let's take a look here. Let's go by position. So quarterbacks, there are 3 guys on the board. We start off with Chris Harris, who drops 4 points. Really good starting throw power. That's about it. Nick Culver also drops by 4. Can't imagine we'll keep going after him. He was a 3-star. And then Joe Alexander drops by 5. He's a bust. Honestly, I think you could argue taking Culver and Alexander off the board already, right? I think you could argue taking these 2 off the board right now. Keep Harris. But, yeah. Culver, you're gone. Joe Alexander, you're gone. We have already hit the point where we can afford to turn down some people. So out of Vermont... Oh, man, but Alexander's a 4-star. Do you keep the 4-star quarterback even though he's only a 61? That's the question. Do you keep the 4-star recruit even though he's only a 61? I mean, he'll grow faster, but it's going to take him forever to be good. I think we just take him out. I think we keep him out. I mean, he'll grow. He'll only be useful. He'll only be useful at the end. Like, at the very end, he'll be useful. Junior year for lucky, senior year, yeah. I think we put the effort into Ware instead. I mean, you could argue whether or not we still target that guy. I have 1 more spot left. There's the 1-star center in Dennis, who has a ridiculous squat rating. Stars do determine potential, yes. There's another linebacker in Michael Porter. Jimmy Archie as well. That's a tough call about that QB, man. And then Culver was only a 3-star to Maine. Based off of who else is left, considering it's a bunch of 1-stars, I think we add him back. Yeah. Considering it's nothing but 1-stars that we could add, we might as well still go for him. So we'll add Joe Alexander back, but we know he's a project and a half, to say the least. So back to quarterbacks then. We know we have Harris. We know we have Alexander. Running back-wise, there's only one on our list. It's Jeremy McDaniel. He is a 4-star running back out of New Hampshire. How good is he? Okay, he's outright a 73. He's one of our top targets easily. Not the fastest in the world, but he's easily one of our top targets. There's two fullbacks, both 1 stars, Chase Floyd and Joe Wilson. Chase Floyd is a 66. Man, it doesn't matter if we run him at fullback or tight end. That's awesome. Chase Floyd is somehow not listed as a gem with a +8. And then Joe Wilson, +4 as well. Beautiful. We want both of these guys for fullback and tight end. That's awesome. 4 wide receivers. Colbert obviously has the highest rating without the scouting reports. He is also the only 4-star. So Sean Roberson is a +3. That's not awful. Obviously, his attributes blow the moment. Matthew Kane is still a 62. Stanford, you kind of have to be a gem here, buddy. He's a +4. And then Nathan Colbert. Don't be a bust. Don't be a bust. Don't be a bust. Okay, he's only a -2. That's not bad, though. A 70 out of the gates. That's not bad at all. Good speed, good route running. Horrible agility. Like, he literally only has straight... Man, he sucks. No agility. The acceleration's pretty bad. He can run fast. Like, literally every play, just send him on a streak and hope that he outruns him. There are 2 tight ends alongside those 2 fullbacks. We got Chris Rogers, 2-star, and 2-star Greg Jackson, who's a JUCO. Let's see, Rogers +6, up to a 65, not bad. And Greg Jackson is a 64. Okay, so we know Rogers is our top target there. On the O-line, 3 tackles. Martin is 3-star, 2-star for Wilson, 4-star for Phillip Young. So let's see, AJ Martin is a -1, he's down to a 63. Wilson is a +7, 69 overall. And Phillip Young is a +1 up to a 72. Not bad. 92 acceleration for a tackle. Jesus Christ. Pretty good options. 1 guard, it is Scott Jones, 3-star out of Maine. He's a +2 up to a 73. Not bad. 3 centers. 4-star Cummings. And then you got Rawls and Hunter. Hunter is a bust. Down to a 62. Rawls is a +3 up to a 59. What about Cummings? Massive bust. -8. Big time disappointment there for the center class. 1 defensive end. It is 4-star Tony Smith out of Vermont. Bust as well. -7. We were looking hot. Now all of a sudden we're taking a bit of a hit here. 3 defensive tackles. 3-star, 3-star, 3-star across the board. McKinney. I am out of points. I didn't realize I was out of points already. Okay, so we'll keep that up in the next week. It's a hit or miss class so far. In terms of redshirting players, this is going to be tough. Quarterback-wise, fairly obvious, Spankton, Woodward, and Chris Golden. And we'll just hope that Golden doesn't want to try to transfer out. So we will redshirt Spankton, Woodward. We will redshirt Golden. Quarterbacks this year, Cody Freeman, Swervethan Ligmaball Sr., and Bartolo's colonoscopy will be our 3 quarterbacks. At running back, we obviously can't afford to redshirt Sean Peterson. We just can't. But we will redshirt Terry Coley and hope that he doesn't get pissed. I think is the best way to handle that. Fullback-wise, I can't redshirt John Green. It doesn't matter anyway. C.J. O'Hara's fine. Wide receivers, 2, 3. Oof. We can afford to redshirt like 1 wideout, but to be honest, I'm just going to leave that entire class there. In case of injury. Maybe. Well, I like to have at least 6 wideouts, so obviously we could redshirt 1 dude. You know? Could redshirt 1 dude. Let's sit down Fred Blount, the junior. Redshirt Bartles. Yeah. I want to make sure. I mean, we need 3 wideout options, so he's fine. Tight end wise, no one will sit. Tackle wise, we have one redshirt option. It is either Victor Harris, the freshman, or Victor Harris. So, Vic, please don't get mad and leave. Left guard. Right guard. Nobody we can redshirt. Center. Nobody we can redshirt. On the edge. All right, we got a couple of people here. Couple of people. I think we can afford redshirt Lloyd Christmas. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more guy. Let's keep Ronning on the team and redshirt Logan and Hubbard. So it'll be Robinson and Solo. And the trio you see there. Defensive tackle, fairly obvious. It could be Marco Jones, but I don't want him to get pissed off and leave. That's way too dangerous, I think, to redshirt him. I would love to. It would really benefit him, though. It really would. But then again, we do run a 4-3, so he's going to stay. Linebackers. Chevrolet is the only one that we could redshirt, so we will not. Middle linebacker. Well, that's fairly obvious. Then Watson and Jansen will both sit out this year. For the corners, there's basically nothing we can do. We need that depth. Safety, there's nothing we can do. So that's it for the red shirts this year. A couple of risky options, I fully admit to. The last thing to set up before we rename our players is the schedule. We have an A grade strength of schedule. We do have the rivalry match against Buffalo. Georgia Southern's also in there. God. Do we have anybody who's kind of... Honestly, I kind of want revenge against Coastal Carolina after last year. There's obviously quite a few teams we could throw into the mix. I'm trying to think of who we really want to kind of like establish a rivalry against. I mean, we got to play Temple. For anybody who remembers that troll once upon a time. Tulane's in there as well. I think Temple and Tulane would be my preferred teams. Maryland's a must, but Mid-Tennessee State is not. Notre Dame is also on the list. Now, I gotta be honest, we play enough ranked competition. I think we take out that game against Notre Dame. So let's add in a game against Temple. And then that Notre Dame game, we can take on Tulane instead. I'd really prefer to not take on Notre Dame when we have to play Clemson, Syracuse, Florida State, and NC State, all of whom are ranked at the beginning of the season here. So then we got one more game, Mid-Tennessee State. I mean, we don't really have a rivalry there with them. Arkansas State's logo looks like the fucking NWO Wolfpack logo. Auburn's obviously there. Coastal Carolina's there. Could take on Hawaii. Marshall. Some people really wanted me to pick. Got New Mexico. South Alabama. If we were to take that game out, our schedule's still okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 0. 11 and 0 is probably not enough, even if we were to run the table. We need one more game in there. We need one more game. We'll add a week 1 game. That way we get that break between the Maryland game. Unless. Can I play Tulane this week? I cannot. Can I play Tulane this week? Yes, I can. All right, that's looking okay. So we got Tulane, Buffalo, and Temple to start off the season. We'll play the latter two on the road just so I can see their stadiums. So we need one more team. Bowling Green's been a massive pain in my ass in terms of recruitment. I wouldn't mind. You know what? Yeah, for that reason, Bowling Green, they've been competition for a lot of recruits. So it's an A- strength of schedule. We add games against Tulane, Temple, and Bowling Green. I think that's good. Not the easiest schedule in the world. So with that, the next time the YouTube side of things sees people, we're going to have some new names. God help us.